Thanks, Michael. Hey, Greg. If memory serves, Weston said something on the day of the roster reveal about him having a setback. So I was just wondering if you could give us an update on his condition. I know he's not here, but what do you know about his recovery?
I think it's going really well. From everything we heard, he's been training with the team yesterday. Wasn't in the squad, but we expect him to have. Can you shut that up? We expect him to be full in training.
Thank you. Hi, Greg. 20 years ago, you were about to play your first World Cup match. What can you recall from that week, and how can you translate that experience to the players a week prior to the debut against Wales?
Yeah, you know, the way I look at this is we can say anything we want. I can give them any type of experience that I've had, but I know this group, and they're not really going to know until the whistle blows against Wales, and that's going to be part of it. You know, we're sticking to the values of who we are as a team, what we want to accomplish in this tournament, and then we get ready to go. We know that World Cup games are highly competitive. We know that winning World Cup games are very difficult, and you know, that's going to set the stage for how we compete in this tournament.
Hey, Greg, thanks for your time. When you look at this team, only one player, DeAndre Yedlin, has been to a World Cup game in a uniform before. Germany did a little bit of a similar rebuilding about 15 years ago, but is there an advantage, a disadvantage to having a group start this cycle all together new, and the job that you and Dave did rebuilding this team, where is it now? You
know, I can sit up here and tell you basically anything, right? I can say it's an advantage, disadvantage. It just doesn't matter though, right? Because it is what it is. And, you know, we're going to get this group ready to play, ready to compete. And, you know, that's just the nature of what we're working with. What I would say is that, you know, we're pleased with how this group has been rebuilt. We're pleased with the core of this team. We think the core of this team has a ton of potential. And, you know, just excited to get the tournament started.
Sam Seshko.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks, Greg. A lot of teams have had guys go down with injuries in the run-up to the World Cup. You guys have stayed relatively healthy, with the exception of a couple of center backs that have the long-term injuries. Specifically, Christian, Gio, Weston, although he's dealing with his knock, Tyler, and Eunice, I believe, have never actually played together at the same time on the field in a game. What is having them in camp? What kind of possibilities do you think that opens up? Not just those guys, but some of the other guys that are figured to play big roles. And how do you feel about the health of the team going into the tournament?
Yeah, I think with the players that we've projected to be healthy, I think we're pretty good. You know, obviously with Wes, we're gonna look at him tomorrow. We expect him to be okay, but we'll see. But that's exciting. I think as we go through this tournament, our goal is to get stronger. Our goal is to have players on the field that can complete the actions that we're looking for on the field, and to have that group of players potentially together on the field. It's exciting. You know, we know there's a lot of talent there, and it's good that we're getting to full health now.
Do you want him to go? No, go ahead, Brian. Okay. Thanks.
Thanks. One of the things that we talked a bunch about during qualifying was planning ahead, one game at a time, rotation, focus. These 3 games come pretty quickly. How much of this week is going to be devoted to drilling down on Wales and preparing for Wales? And how much ahead of that game are you sort of also thinking about principles and patterns and formations and players you might want to look at for the Iran and England games?
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, we hope that we can use this week effectively. We have 4 training sessions this week, 3 left, and then we go 2 before the game against Wales. But we're going to work on both of these things. I mean, today we got some good work in on the field, and you know, we'll start to give them some detail about Wales and how we're going to look to play against them. And then we'll move forward and focus on England and Iran. But for us, it is for us it is important that we do put focus into this Wales game, but we'll also be working on general concepts that we always work on. So it will be both.
Stephen, up front.
Greg, what's it like? This facility, the hotel facility, it seems like you hit the jackpot maybe in a way, and be able to secure these venues. And how does all this benefit?
Yeah, no, we really like it. You know, that's why we were here in 2019. In September of 2019, looking at these venues, because it was important to try to get it right. And we feel like this is a good combination of hotel and training facility. But I haven't seen the others, so it's very difficult for me to compare.
Sorry.
Thank you. Greg, I know you've been here before, but for the players, it's the first time here. What have the first few days here been like? The first impression, first time you've been here with your team. I mean, how's it been? Have they adjusted to the heat, the facilities, the hotel, the whole environment? Thanks.
Yeah, so we're gradually getting guys in, right? Today we have 22 of the 26 players. By tonight we'll have all 26. But first impressions, talking to the guys, they like the facility, they like the hotel, and so it's a good sign. You know, we went to a lot of lengths to make it accommodating, to create the type of environment that the players are used to, and understanding that we want to be here for a long time, so we want to make it comfortable for them.
Paul.
Hey, Greg. I know you guys have talked about kind of wanting to bring the Be the Change discussion here to Qatar. I saw the rainbow flag logo here on the training facility. I wonder if you can speak to why it was important to have that here where the team is training, and just kind of what the discussions have been like with the team about those types of messages here in Qatar.
Yeah, we've been talking to the team for the last 18 months about Qatar, about some social issues in Qatar, and we think it's important. Like wherever, you know, I think that you know, when we are on the world stage and we are in a venue like Qatar, it's important to bring awareness to these issues, and that's what Be the Change is about. You know, it's not just stateside that we want to bring attention to social issues. It's also abroad. And you know, we recognize that Qatar has made strides and there has been a ton of progress, but there's still some work to do. And it's just about Be the Change basically represents everyone's individual opportunity to make change and to have change start with them. So I think it's appropriate that we have it here as well.
Hello, from the Telegraph in England. I just wonder, Greg, when you look at this Wales team, you've obviously played in the English League yourself. There are some recognisable characters. Kiefer Moore has had a very good run recently, 3 goals in 3 of the Premier League. How do you analyse that threat and that kind of profile of players?
Yeah, I think that, at least to the American media, I think Wales is underrated. When I look at their squad, it's basically a Premier League squad. You have Daniel James, who scored the other night against Man United, high quality player. You have Harry Wilson, high quality player. Kiefer Moore, you know, Nico Williams, Brendan Johnson, Gareth Bale, Ben Davies. You know, to me, it's a really good squad, a formidable squad. They've been in international competition before. They know what it's like, and it's going to be a very difficult game, as will when they play England will be a difficult game. So I think they're going to be a highly competitive team, and you know, we know that the starting point on next Monday night, you know, we're in for a battle for sure.
Hello, I'm Alexander Stojanovic from Serbia. Greg, congratulations for everything. And what would I like to ask you is about Bora Milutinovic. Have you seen him? And because of his big experience, what he would tell you, what is his advice for tournaments like this?
Bora is a genius. You know, he's coached in enough of these tournaments. We saw him last year at the Gold Cup. It's always great to see Bora. You know, he's actually the coach that gave me my first international cap. So I got a lot of love for Bora. But to me, you know, the best thing was I happened to see him with a longtime player, his Marcelo Balboa, and to see the interaction between them. You know, he last coached Marcelo in 1994. And to see the love that they had for each other, you know, I'd be lucky myself if I see a player, you know, 28 years later, and we have that love for each other. So it was a wonderful experience to see that, and Bora, you know, has made a big impact on soccer in the United States for sure.
Last question for Daniel.
Greg, I have two in one actually. I want to ask for Weston again. Do you have a plan B in case if he doesn't make it? Have you think in a plan B if Weston can't play against Wales? And
yes.
What have you seen from Tim? It's the first time that he's back with the team since September, I think. So what's your evaluation on Ream?
Well, he played last night, right? At 10, what time? You know, 7:30 this time. So in terms of field evaluation, there's been none. He was inactive in training today. He was doing regen. But, you know, I can speak on, we're going to sort these mics out for next press conference. This is unbearable. Every time, I feel like I'm whispering. Anyway, so, but what I've seen from Tim, even in yesterday's game, is an incredible calm, you know, good defending, good going into challenges, reading the game well, reading the play, moving his back line, you know, having a great season. In terms of the last two games, playing against Man City and Man United, you know, Fulham did a really good job. They gave up the game-winning goals in injury time, but overall, you know, competed very well, and he's a big part of what they've been doing. So, you know, again, for us, it was pretty clear that we wanted Tim in the squad based on his body of work this fall. Thank you, everyone.